been here a long time, so it'll probably be okay as long as no one screws around with it. I'll inform the owners when I get back to Spokane. Maybe it can be removed safely, but we're not paid enough for that kind of work." Tom cocked his head and squinted one eye. "Yeah, but don't you think the company already knows about the dynamite?" Brad rubbed a week's growth of whiskers. Maybe not. The ore at this mine has never been valuable enough to mine at a profit. However, during the war years, foreign sources of some critical metals were cut off, so the U.S. government was willing to financially support mines like this low-grade tungsten property that can't normally operate at a profit. Looks to me like the old miners just dropped their tools and walked off the job. Back in 1945, when the War Production Board cut off the subsidies. They probably planned on coming back when the price of tungsten reached a profitable level, but that didn't happen. "Yeah, but Wolframite Mining Company is still listed on the Spokane and Vancouver stock exchanges." Brad smiled. I'm glad to hear you're doing your homework. I contacted the lawyer who represents this mine, and he sent me back a letter of permission to examine the property. He's eager to get a copy of our final report. Told me about some of their other properties that were active, but this one's been on their inactive list for over 20 years. He mentioned they leased the property to a South American company a few years ago, but there was nothing in the lease that would keep us from doing our examination work. He also said he didn't think the South American outfit was very serious about mining because they quit sending him activity reports a couple of years ago. However, they did get permission from the Forest Service to use a helicopter for surface drilling program. The lawyer thinks they're just some, small-time stock motors, but he says he doesn't give a damn as long as they keep making their lease payments. Brad took a deep breath and exhaled slowly. He pointed the light on his hard hat in every direction. "This really is quite a large stash of explosives. Must be 30 feet back to this powder magazine, and it's filled with boxes of dynamite." He paused, looked around, and took another deep breath. Do you feel any air circulating through here?" Tom was sitting motionless, apparently mesmerized by all the boxes of explosives, and didn't answer. Brad gently shook Tom's shoulder. "Let's see if there isn't some fresh air coming into this level from the outside. I'd feel a whole lot better if I knew there was another way out of here." At that moment, there was a muffled sound of thunder, and the ground shook around them. Small rocks bounced off their backs and their hard hats. Tom jumped to his feet, looking wild-eyed, and was chewing hard on his lip. "It looked like rain when we came in here this morning. Do you think it's raining outside?" Brad shrugged his broad shoulders and smiled. "Probably, but it's nice and dry in here." "Yeah, but remember when we opened up the main haulage portal? It took us 4 hours to dig through all that slide rock so we could get in and out of here." "Don't worry about it. That was several days ago, and the portal's still wide open." Deep furrows developed in Tom's brow. "Yeah, but you said if it rained hard enough, it'd bring the rest of that slide rock down and cover up the portal again." Brad shrugged again. "Well, if that happens, we'll just have to dig it out again." Tom let out an incredulous gasp. "Yeah, but we left the pick and shovels on the outside of the portal. We might be trapped in here, no food or water, and we could run out of light and air." Brad gave a dismissive look. "If we hear a lot more thunder, we'll go check out the portal. Don't worry, we haven't eaten our lunch yet, and between the two of us, we have enough batteries and carbide to last 10 or 12 hours. Besides, I think I can feel air moving down this drift. Yeah, we might find an air shaft or another portal. Maybe we can find an easier way in and out of this old mine." Tom bit off a piece of